Okay, he's hoping we are live. Okay, it says we're live. Okay. Welcome, absolutely no one.
What channel is this even streaming on?
It's my pony channel. My comic review channel.
You have so many channels, it's hard to tell.
Okay, we're finally live with this train wreck of a podcast.
I'm gonna go check to see if it's working live.
Oh hey, people are showing up. Okay,
Yeah, I see
I
nothing on
forgot to
YouTube at
tweet
the
this
moment.
out. All the places not to share it. Everyone else speak just to make sure that it's actually working. So this, someone in the stream chat, let me know if you can hear the other people.
Can you hear the most magnificent? Wait, how do you even look at the stream?
Go to the YouTube channel.
It doesn't show up on the YouTube channel.
I probably should drop a link in the
Done.
chat. Oh, okay.
Done.
Zion's a step ahead of
Okay,
me.
well, yeah, we can... Wait.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
no, okay.
Despite starting late. What the
Wait,
heck?
I'm hearing...
But
This is
it
very
changed
echoey.
the freaking name of the freaking... What the hell?
Well...
Hold on.
Hey, look, we're available. Get your ass in here.
This is very complicated.
Well, apparently it didn't save that I changed the title to "We're seriously still talking whatever about." In that LOoneyCon. Title. Yeah, see, it changed. We're seriously still talking whatever. It's frustrating.
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties, folks. We'll be right back.
We are experiencing, like, weird...
There we go.
Like, this is really trippy. Like, if you listen to the chat, it, like, is echoing.
Well, don't listen to the stream. Put that on mute. Okay.
Well, I don't think it's my fault. I think it's just plain echoing.
Well, I've put mine on mute. It's not echoing for me.
It's only echoing for me because I have to listen to it on a different Discord account while
Are you
talking.
sure it's not picking up things on yours?
No, my audio's through Bluetooth. It shouldn't be picking that up.
No, like, do you have the stream up, and are you sure it's muted?
My stream is muted. Can you stop having a discussion about echoey stream issues and just get to the talking about comics?
Well, I don't know if this if this is how it's working.
Okay. People watching, is there any echo? Or is Chalkfee just going insane? Has the quarantine
somebody
finally
tag
gotten
me.
to her? Okay. Since no one responded, I'm going to take that as there is no issues and it's just Chalkfee's computer or whatever.
Okay, no, see, there's audio coming from somewhere that isn't the tab, because I have it not muted. I have it muted and off.
Wait, is it possible the microphone is picking up the Bluetooth headphone?
Oh! Wait.
Chalkfee?
Wait.
Try putting headphones
I think that's better.
in.
No, I think I found what was wrong.
Yeah, was your microphone picking up
No,
your computer speakers?
No. I have headphones in. It was that I was apparently looking at the stream in two places. I looked for that, but apparently the Discord had the stream open for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
Fun. That's how Discord works.
Fun.
Okay.
Fun.
Welcome to the haphazard train wreck that is, even at LOoneyCon, we are still talking all about them pony comics. A panel that I've more or less run at most online conventions, except for Online Pony Fest, funny, the one that happened last weekend, because they didn't have panel applications for that one. So hopefully the next one. But I ran this at HackOn for its 3 years of operation. And the only reason I describe it as the premier comic panel is because 1 year Crown Prince edited the description to say that it was HackOn's premier comic panel.
I don't think it's the premier comic panel for this convention.
Oh no, there's one tomorrow at like 5 p.m. MST that actually has IDW people on it. So
conveniently just when nobody is available.
Which is about 7 p.m. EST. I'm still at work. Anyways, I am joined by the lovable Bun Bun Chokfi.
Hello.
My editor and also classic MLP MLP animated reviewer, Zion Craze.
You know, there are some classy My Little Pony comics, but I am not reviewing those.
Bun Bun. Yes. I am a Bun Bun. Hi.
And Anime Wolf Gamer, I know you're an analyst of MLP stuff, but do you do other stuff?
Well, video games and anime, basically.
And also, you are trying to organize a fan dub of the IDW comics.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the topic we were talking about before we started streaming was
MST
season
is
10,
Mountain Time.
which is in the comics. Thoughts?
It's just a thing that's important here in the Americas because we've got like 4 fucking time zones. So thoughts?
Like how the second
Who's gonna go first?
the second that we want to talk about it on stream, no one wants to talk about it.
Who's gonna go first? Like,
Okay, I'll go first.
To answer the MST question, it means Mountain Standard Time,
Yeah, I was just about to type that in.
which is what the con is all scheduled in.
I already did
If you
that.
go to the LOoneyCon website, on the top of the schedule page, there should be a time zone converter link. Anyways, so season 10, what do you guys think the cover in this? I know we have like hints that they're gonna go to like Zikora's homeland in like the first issue, but what other things do you think they're going to cover in?
Well, for one, like maybe they'll cover events that happen in glass after the finale.
Oh, that could be interesting. There are a few stained glass events. One thing I really wish they would cover is the fact that by the end of this, by the end of season 9, it's like the Student 6 are the bearers of the elements of harmony, but they were never recreated as physical elements, so that was never really obvious. So,
Well, I mean, the pillars didn't have like physical. They had physical things, but they weren't like gemstones. So I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying, like, but at the end, it's very clear that they are the elements of harmony, and it is very clear that I was correct in my predictions of which ones they were. Thank you very much. Nobody cared.
Well, actually,
Nobody cared.
I cared enough to mention you when you mentioned that you were right about Discord.
Oh yeah, no, that was like the first episode. I watched it and I'm like, oh no, that's Discord.
Man,
It was the eye. He had the eyes.
yeah, I'll be honest. I thought the eyes represent that he's like the creator, since he's the creator of evil. But which I know all that's true. It's just that, man, that was still.
Yeah.
I'm still processing that.
Yeah, I didn't really like that twist. They
I
should
felt like
have.
it wasn't a twist, to be honest.
They should have had Grogar be the main villain of the finale. It would have been great.
Actually, I think the reason they did that is because they're on the final season and have time to delve more into his backstory other than what
You cut out.
Sorry, what I meant is like I think the reason they did that is because they're on the final season. Not to mention that the real villains are technically the villainous three, Cozy, Chrysalis, and Tyrion, which are fine enough as it is. But if Grogar is just gonna throw them away, I think it might have been kind of the best because
Also, realistically, would Grogar, the actual Grogar, have had this whole plan of, hey, let's make the villains friends so that they have the magic of friendship and they can fight the friends?
Well, you see,
that was like a really intricate plan, which I don't think the original Grogar would have had, to be honest.
What they could have done, not we could have done.
Yes,
had
we're
Grogar, the actual Grogar, and maybe they capture Discord, who's trying to like spy on them or something. That's how he gets depowered. But also, Chrysalis, Tyrick, and Cozy Glow could still conspire against Grogar. And so Grogar, powerless, is now on the side, has to team up with Discord to then tell the main six what happened. And other than that, the finale happens how it did. Just no stupid Grogar as Discord. But anyways, back to the comics.
Well, yeah, I mentioned that because I'm hoping that the comics will cut. If the comics are gonna have a big finale again, I'm kind of hoping Grogar is I'm kind of hoping the real Grogar actually shows up this time.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was hoping to
Grogar is so far back in history at this point in the Friendship is Magic universe. It's just, I don't know if it's that realistic.
Well, the Grogar himself might be long dead, but technically, his magic is still inside the bell.
Well, yeah.
So the MacGuffin that is the bell could still be a thing.
It was a good bell. It was a good MacGuffin. I liked it. We got Alicorn Cozy Glow, which was adorable.
Well, if I could say one thing, technically that hasn't really stopped the show when they show that Starswell and everyone else was still alive for 1,000 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if the comics actually show that.
But all of those were specifically like 1,000 years. There is this period of time where there was great unrest, where these villains all appeared in the course of like maybe a couple decades, like maybe 100 years tops. Because obviously the Pillars got rid of like 2 out of like how many of these villains have there been? There's like let's see.
Actually, we never really have a exact count since we only known a couple of them.
No, but like which villains have come back? There was Sombra, which was
Pillars
later.
Officially like got rid of or whatever was the Sirens, and they just sent those to the Equestria Girls universe. So
yeah, which I remind you, I still think that Starswirl's special talent is portals, because I think it makes more sense than anything else.
Yeah, like it's
portal magic.
But still, like you could sort of technically say that Grogar is like basically immortal, or like is sealed away somewhere. I mean, they, and besides, it's not far off the possibility that he could come back at any time.
Sure.
And
but at this point, there is no
portals. Now you're thinking with portals.
Oh.
Boo.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I guess I'm text typer in this case.
Anyway,
for those
no,
who don't
like,
know, in my comic reviews, there is a character that's my OC's older brother, loosely based on my real older brother.
I like how you still have that comic.
That is, he's a disembodied text, and he's very snarky.
I like how you still have the icon for this be that one comic from like years ago.
Huh?
The icon for the anyway, not important.
Oh, the thumbnail is the comics. God, I love comics. Dear Princess Celestia, I'm so alone.
Yeah. Anyway. So anyway, the whole thing with the season 10 is that we have to realize that they're probably not gonna do a major like reveal that isn't just tying up a loose end. I don't think they're gonna introduce a new major villain because it'll be difficult, because it'll be like making these comics at the very least required reading for people to get everything that the show had to offer. I think a lot of these comics, even though they are technically even higher canon than several other comics that have shown up in the in the last couple years, which have been very specifically canon, I would like to mention the ones that I did videos on, which are the Pillar comics from
wasn't the
Something of Magic
comics canon?
Yes.
I mean, I personally think every comics canon, unless it directly contradicts something in the show. Like,
I mean, that's how I do with all of these things. I always like to have a tier list of canon, and if something isn't directly contradicted by something above it, then it is considered canon to me until it is directly contradicted.
Which is why I don't consider the Nightmare Rarity arc canon, because Princess's Dream of Magic Sheep is literally the same plot.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
it's
let's
not
be
exactly
honest.
the same plot. You don't have the part where a main six becomes a new nightmare entity.
Because there's a difference, because that actually has to do with like what the nightmare is in the past and all of this sort of stuff. Whereas now, in Princess's Dream of whatever, it's something that it's the Tantabus is like, you know, the whole thing that Luna created. So it's a different type of entity.
Yeah, but it has a similar plot. She's getting over the same stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is that
it's also better.
It's also, and not to mention
I don't know about that.
It also contradicts it also sort of contradicts the Luna the episode. I think it also sort of contradicts because if you say that that's canon, you're saying that before Luna came back to season 2, they were fighting Rarity, and that's how she got her powers back.
Yeah, see, personally, I don't like the Nyx / Nightmare Forces. They are a
You're literally a
fan
of
My
Little
it shifts blame for Luna's actions as Nightmare Moon away from Luna to some other magical force.
You're literally a fan of Fallout Equestria. That is literally the plot of Fallout Equestria.
You see...
You're broken.
I'm just saying, that is the plot of Fallout Equestria.
The evil star magic and like star metal corrupting Luna is a far better scapegoat than the Nightmare Forces. The Nightmare Forces are just these weird moon creatures that became these weird smoky
they were
monsters.
Corrupted by her, weren't they? In that comic, weren't they corrupted by her? They were originally like these really nice little
kind of
like chicken people.
It was, I don't know. See,
they
that's
had, like,
another
beaks.
thing.
They were cute. They were fluffy. I like them.
The
They're very
Nyx
cute.
apparently were originally the moon-dwelling race of weird creatures that gave ponies their dreams. And when Luna was banished to the moon, she befriended, quote unquote, the Nyx. I believe that's the name of their race.
I don't know if it is. I'm gonna look it up.
Which I think ironic. Isn't there like a Past Sins where the character's name is Nyx?
Past Sins.
Like
Past
Moon,
Sins
but
was
as a
also
filly?
Nightmare Moon. It was the idea that Nightmare Moon was a corruption, and then they turned that into a filly. They turned the magic that corrupted her into Nightmare Moon into its own entity, which was a great story. If anybody should read fan fiction, that's one of the best early fan fiction.
But anyways, so while Nightmare Moon is on the moon, she's using the Nyx, I believe that was the name of the creature.
I'm looking it up.
To use their dreamwalking ability to still like attack her sister and the citizens of Equestria by giving them nightmares. Which is an interesting origin to Luna's dreamwalking abilities. But I personally don't like that comic. The Fiendship is Magic Luna or Nightmare Moon comic, or the Nightmare Rarity arc, or I think it's the Celestia micro series. I think.
I don't know.
Whatever one kind of had a flashback where it showed like nightmare forces attacking Canterlot, and that's the reason why in the aftermath of that Celestia opened her school. It just, because of its connections to the other comics I don't like, I can't like it.
Anyway, all I can see are these adorable Nyxes. They are so cute.
Okay, character
look like
design-wise, the Nyx species is interesting and cute, but I don't like the way they were used.
Okay.
Look at this owl person. It's an owl person.
Okay,
They're
hold on.
owls.
You sent me something over Discord?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, let me put that into my downloads. Go into OBS.
If there's actually
image. Actually, I can just change an image that I already have.
Yes, anime.
Okay, there's one thing I don't. There's one thing the show wish take from the comics is that I wish they mentioned about Celestia's absence during the bigger events, because in the comic, I think if I remember, it was the
Celestia's what?
I think it was Celestia and Spike's friendship comic. Yeah, there was
I'll let you finish a second. I changed the picture to the picture that Chakthi just sent, so those watching, that's one of the Nyx. They all look kind of different, like bird people things.
Look at how cute she is. She's a bird.
Here I was thinking they were going to be Moon Dreamers.
But
Anyway, what were you saying,
back to
anime?
what you're saying, anime.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that there is if there's one thing I hate that the comics does is usually giving explanations of the show that should have been shown, that should have been in the show. Like, for example, there was a Celestia and Spike, a Spike friendship comic. There was one line that really explains everything, but it pisses me off because not many people are gonna read it, and it's this. Basically, they explain that the reason Celestia is not always there with the big major events, at least whenever something big happens, is because she wants Twilight to learn on her own, or she wouldn't grow.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of obvious from the show, though.
Yeah, but the thing is that
she's just a less malicious Discord. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what. But however, that always confuses me of how she never appears whenever some of the major threats almost beat them.
Well, yeah, but she knows that they're gonna win. She has canonical extrasensory future sight stuff in a few episodes. So
well, to be fair, I honestly do not like it when explain that he actually Discord, and that's I intentionally left Nightmare Moon alone, so that way my future student can learn the power of friendship.
Well, I think leaving Nightmare Moon alone was because it was trying to, save her sister.
Yeah, but man,
I will say that the Spike and Celestia Friends Forever, I believe that was it. No, that it may have been the Celestia micro series or the Spike micro series. There's too many comic series to keep track of, I guess. I should be able to keep track of them because I'm ComicSansPony, but
original comics, which is still ongoing to this day. Micro series, the first spin-off series, the Friends Forever one, then Legends of
Magic.
That's it.
Those were the ones that I actually did videos on. And people watched them, and then they didn't watch the one where I learned how to use audio correction, so they only watched the bad ones.
Okay, well, I don't currently have it in the description, but if you look up Chalkfee on YouTube, find her channel, because yes, Chalkfee identifies as female, or well, gender fluid. But anyways, I'm
gonna throw peanut M&Ms at you.
You're not in the same room as me.
I'm not even in the same state as you, but I'm still gonna do it. Which way is north?
But anyways, if you find her channel, watch the video that she was talking about. I just didn't want to get confused because I was calling you she, but your voice sounds he.
I'm adorable, so it doesn't matter.
True, I guess.
But yeah, no, my videos are they're pretty simple. It's an exploration of those comics, and the historical and mythological background for each of these characters. At which point you realize that in fact there have actually been Kyrans 3 times in the show.
Kyran?
Quailin, technically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the comics, there have actually been Kelpie, which are basically Kyran.
No, Kelpie is a different thing. No, okay. Kelpie is Scottish. Quailin is, Chinese and Japanese and Korean.
The main series comic, I forget which number, but it was Pet Save the Day. You can't see my review of that because it's been blocked in all countries. And I don't feel like making a re-edit of it. But
is it because of the music you used?
It may have been.
Oh, what song was it?
I think it was before you edited my videos, Zion.
Way
but even now, some of the music you use could be a copyright issue. But
I don't care.
Cross that bridge when YouTube copyright claims the video.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when YouTube stops having the worst robot at the moment. So.
Oh yeah, YouTube left the robot in charge during Corona. So.
Yeah, so not doing great.
Anyways, in the Pet Save the Day comic, where Angel Bunny has to wrangle up Winona, Tank.
Angel Bunny is the best character.
Winona, Tank.
Opalescence.
I think that's it. Oh, and Owlicious.
No, there's 5. That's it.
To figure out what happened to every pony. Because every pony is just not there. Basically, I think Ponyville had built a dam or something, and it had stopped a Kelpie from being able to get to the ocean, and so it used its powers to
hypnotize everyone.
Hypnotize every pony.
Yeah,
get them to destroy the dam or something. I forget exactly what happened, but the Kelpie design is very similar to the sirens and whatnot, as well as maybe some of the sea ponies or the Kyran.
Anyway, so canonically, there have actually been several appearances of creatures inspired by Kyrans, including our good friend Mistmane was very clearly, when they first created her, inspired by a Quailin. You can tell by the unique way she walks and by the mist nature, which is supposed to reference the fact that Kwai-Lin are actually part dragon, which means they are a halfway between the earth and the heavens. And you can actually also tell by the fact that she goes and visited Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, which is a traditional omen of a wonderful and powerful emperor. Because if an emperor sees a Kwai-Lin in their garden, they're meant to have a long and fruitful reign.
Okay. Let's do one.
See that the show's Kieran's, though cute,
have very little to do with actual mythology. They're just dragon
well, there's
ponies.
that. But also, literally a week before that episode aired, East Corp, shout out to East Corp, released the Confessions of a Wasteland Pony episode on the Mercenary, where a character known as Diamondback is a Kieran, but the half-dragon type of Kieran that is presumed to be the son of Ember, and a pony in the Wasteland. And I personally actually like that version of Kieran better. It would have been so cool to have like a half-dragon, half-pony race. But Hasbro's like, nope.
Let's be honest. I don't think I don't think to start questioning. Wait, how does this generic thing work? Because we already got that with the Mr. and Mrs. Cake situation, and that already led to this was cheesy utter. Oh, great.
Choppy brought it up earlier, and I kind of never actually answered. Did I answer? I liked the evil stars as a scapegoat versus the Nightmare Forests. I'm not sure if I said that or not.
Okay, see, here's the thing. In the comics, in the more canon comics, the ones that are at least explicitly more canon than those ones, they're probably B+ canon rather than A canon, but they're still very, very close. It is actually this whole thing about there being when they transport to another world, Luna goes to another world by casting one of Star Swirl's spells, and she finds herself in a forest, and like the Nightmare Moon armor is being put on her. So
that was actually kind of an interesting take. If they had just left it be like a shadow entity like that, and not the Nightmare Forces, quote unquote, that were the corrupted Nyx.
I don't think it was the corrupted Nyx, because I think the Nyx were created by her. Like, she corrupted them.
She corrupted them, but they existed on the moon apparently long before her.
Yeah.
But this other universe had this corrupting force. There's also interesting things in the comics, like the Reflections arc during the flashback portion, where they're mentioning that Luna has gotten rather dark lately. But, instead of, like, talking with her, seeing what's going on, let's go gallivant in other realities.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how it makes a lot of sense for the show, though, let's be honest. Celestia's not a good sister.
She'll be fine. No, she won't. She
sister.
becomes a tyrannical
Celestia is not a good sister.
Make everything nighttime forever.
Celestia is not a good sister.
Celestia's worst sister?
Celestia, worst princess.
Oh man, you're gonna anger a lot of people with that statement, Chuck.
Oh yeah, no, I half expect like Brody Book to be like, what? And just like shoot from another channel, another person's stream.
To be fair, Luna is best pony. Sorry, best princess.
I mean,
Derpy's best pony.
Yeah.
Pinky
Something that
Fluttershy is best main 6.
Okay, do you know there's always something that I found interesting throughout my time reading these comics, at least in the original one with the canon. is that every once in a while you'll find the weather imps just in the background, always watching.
Yeah, they're funny.
It's always weird to me. Like everyone.
The weather. After the issue that introduced the weather imps, they do occasionally appear in the background, much like a lot of background things, like the Observer Pony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's always weird to me. Like
it's probably different. It's probably different artists is like, oh, like let me hide this thing.
I want to say that Tony Flex or Fleece, whatever you pronounce his name, did the weather imps. That's his sort of background Easter egg, and Andy Price had the Observer Pony.
The Observer Pony, as well as the old Dr. Pony, appeared a couple times, I believe.
And put in Sweet Scoops with Big Mac.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay, so apparently, apparently the T-Love Fleetfoot love triangle that happened during Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair. At least the T-Love part of that was apparently a Hasbro mandate. Like, they wanted to advertise T-Love, the character, with like a...
T-Love? Who the fuck is T-Love?
Apparently, it's a random background pony character that had a teacup with a heart on its flank, I think, who after randomly bumping into Big Mac, falls in love with him. But at the same time, Fleetfoot has had the same affliction. And so there's this whole like background plot between the two in Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair, which is probably one of my favorite arcs.
You know, the thing is always like, you know, those weather imps, whenever they appear, I always ask, are they just waiting for the right time to strike? Because I remember seeing the weather imps in the Hollywood issue where they were behind the set looking at Rainbow Dash furious.
T-Love is not a well-designed character.
Also, I think I saw the human version of the Weather Imps in one of the Equestria Girls comics.
Yes.
It was kind of interesting.
Oh yeah,
They did appear once in the Equestria Girls.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say this now. They're in the Equestria Girls universe. They're drug dealers. Like seriously, they look like drug dealers.
Dude, how can
little
you
bit.
disrespect my boys for that?
If someone can look up a picture of those, I'll swap out the My 2 Bits logo for them so the audience can know what we're talking about. But if not, we'll move on.
Hold on, I'm
Controlled the weather, so it's weird to have these other creatures that can control the weather.
God.
So get back to season 10, which some people think that it's kind of a scummy thing for IDW to do that. Like, oh no, season 10, it's going to be in the comics. Hey, bronies, give us your money.
I don't know about that. It's traditional.
But
long running.
I do realize that a lot of TV shows, like cartoons specifically, continued for several years in the comics.
Yeah, like a lot of shows do that. It's
like,
a kind
I think
of a
there's
tradition.
still Adventure Time comics, Star vs. the Force of Evil. There'll probably be Steven Universe.
As far as I'm aware, Star Versus done because I don't think there's ever going to be a comic line at all, especially with what happened at the ending, which I'm not going to go on a rant on. I'm going to keep myself from that.
There was a comic for Star vs. the Forces of Evil, but unfortunately it got cancelled before it had a chance to actually conclude itself.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes it
I know
worse.
Rick and Morty had some comics, but they were like specifically another universe.
Well, yeah, it was specifically a different set of Rick and Morty, but it's still they were comics.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for an animated series to get a comic spin-off that continues beyond the end of the animated series. So maybe billing it as season 10 was a little scummy, but I mean, those of us who are upset the show ended, at least we technically get a season 10.
Well, like
I like the idea of a season 10.
But the thing is that though, with MOP, the season 10 is gonna take place in between after the correlation,
coronation,
and before the time skip. So technically, if you just stop at season 9,
we still could, yeah.
there still could be a sequel series similar to
Yes,
Steven
there
Universe
still
Future.
could be there still could be a sequel series. I really wish it would be about the Student Six, but that's just not going to happen at this point.
Well,
So it looks like if there is a sequel series, it's definitely going to be about those characters that were introduced in the final episode.
Well, technically, we got a couple of Student Six focused comics in the main ones, and we just recently got another one, which I actually do recommend because it's actually a really good one that actually tackles a bit of, well, like, you know, the between the races of all the 6 characters.
There's actually I'm a little behind in the comics.
Oh yeah,
How far behind?
But I remember reading an arc. I forget what the arc was officially titled, but it was.
Well, you better
there was
catch up by the end of the
like,
month.
Great summons of all the creatures.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
Wow,
Yeah,
how far
and it was interesting to
That was a couple
finally,
years
like,
ago,
see
'cause
like these other like
I was making videos when that came out.
that was a while ago. But I remember it being like a pretty decent arc that it was surprisingly interesting for a political intrigue arc.
The Rift Cafe still pretended that they needed you to make videos at that point. That was a while ago. Anyway, no, yeah, no, so the, bleh.
Sorry, we're in so many places.
What were we talking about?
I think I was trying to bring us back to season 10.
Yeah, here's something I'd like to see happen in season 10, and this is something that I think the show really failed on, and I wanted the comics to actually do. Give Princess Cadence more shit to do. Seriously. What the hell did she do in the show apart from be a toy sale? Well, yeah,
Have a child.
Well,
Yeah,
Zion
what
did
else?
She
That's
also
the most
forced
important
people to
job
love each other?
a woman. Oh God, that sounds horrible.
well,
That sounded horrible.
well,
I can't finish my sentence. Oh.
well, technically Zion did, you know, they did do a lot with her in the comics too, like at least before then. I remember
Yeah,
there was
the whole
High School.
Siege of the Crystal Empire.
high school. There was the high school arc, which, you know.
Oh, yeah, that was
Oh yeah,
great.
and then there was what was that one called? That was called there was some. Actually, I can look this up.
The time period where you
It was
realize
a
that
parody of classic not sitcoms, classic rom-coms.
And it was also
no, it was cute. It was actually really cute. I really liked the fact that it turned out that Shining Armor was just a nerd.
well, technically, I always think that, like, yeah, technically when he's supposed to be like the big, you know, the royal guards, yeah, at some point in his life before that he wants to have a change in his life.
Yeah, but no, that's the point. That's that comic. That comic
Yeah.
is the point where he changes his ways, stops being such a nerd like us.
Yeah, well, there's also a really good one with Twilight and Cadence in the Friendship comics.
What was it? Sorry, I was getting my I deal in digital comics, so I was getting the program open that had the comics, and it's taking forever to load.
You don't want to have like a collection of every Milo Purpose Magic just physically right in front of you.
I don't have the room for that. I have a couple IRL comics.
You should You should collect the season 10 comics.
It's
Yeah,
slightly easier than the
Unfortunately,
other.
I have to wait for them to physically come because I live in a town that doesn't sell comic books. I have to get them online.
Yeah, I think they come online a couple days after they
there
go
we
into
go. That's the name. It
bookstore.
was called Nay Anything.
Yeah, like, you know,
Sorry,
yeah,
that
like,
was like way too long looking shit up for a stupid little comment. And I think
Well-
the second half was called Pretty. It was Nay Anything, Pretty and Periwinkle.
You know what I really wish?
what?
I wish Principal Cinch would be like a pony. That would have been interesting.
I gotta say, missed opportunity from the friendship games. They should have made the principal of Crystal Prep Sombra.
Oh yeah, that. Well, technically,
Instead, it's just a Rule 63 somber.
Well,
more or less
technically,
Rule 63.
Yeah.
well, technically, I kind of like the fact that they went with an original one. I really don't want to.
Well, they could have at least had a Sombra character, like maybe he was the vice principal instead of
Oh,
vice
yeah,
principal Cadence.
oh yeah, definitely.
Or maybe he was like the janitor of Crystal Prep.
I don't know. It just feels really weird when there are characters that only appear in one series. At least that only appear in Equestria Girls. Especially now that a lot of the ones from Equestria have appeared as background characters in the comics as ponies.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
need to
Wallflower
see
Blush.
what was that the person who maybe people forget who she was.
Wallflower Blush. I
Wallflower.
literally just said her name
Yeah,
5 seconds ago.
Hey, that's still my favorite special.
No, I could
but
play
yeah,
it off that I was going for the joke that she made people forget her, but I
But you
actually
weren't.
forgot her name.
But you weren't.
but yeah, I do think, yeah, I did kind of wish they showed Sombra as a vice principal to her, like yeah, like it'd be a nice. Yeah, we're doing this because we want to make sure our school looks good. We don't give a shit about our students.
I mean, yeah.
I do really want to
I
see
found
a
it really
Wallflower
funny that
Blush pony that's like canon, not like a fan interpretation.
No, there was one in the comics.
There was?
Yeah, she appeared in the comics as a background frame. She was an Earth pony.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, what was I saying?
I don't know.
Horse.
You were
Yeah,
saying
it was-
it's weird when there's a character in the Equestria Girls universe that doesn't have a pony counterpart?
Yeah, but whatever.
Although there was that one Equestria Girls short where they all have to travel through the Equestria universe just to get back to Camp
Less said
High.
about that one. Less said about that one, the better.
It was so weird.
I still really think that it's more interesting for like all of these ponies that have magic as their special talent. They have different types of magic as their special talent. Because obviously, it's very clear from at least by the end of the show that Twilight's special talent is specifically friendship magic, not just magic as it's interpreted at the beginning.
Friendship is magic, so
Yeah, but it's a type of magic.
friendship is magic and magic is friendship. It's the transitive property of addition. And yeah.
No, friendship is magic, but not all magic is friendship.
It's like the square is a rectangle, but not all rectangles are squares.
Yes.
Or all bronies and for the whole brony furry argument.
All bronies are furries, but not all furries are bronies.
No, I'm not a furry.
You are a furry.
I'm not a furry.
You have a fursona.
I have a pony sona. It's not a fursona.
Anyway, I was just trying to say before.
It was drawn as a fursona at one point. So
I have gotten some art of it in more anthro form. But anyways, away from that, what was Zion saying?
Because this year we finally actually got a new Equestria Girls after the last disastrous one. And yeah, I haven't read it because it's not been sent to me. I paid for it, but because of what the hell's going on...
Wait, there's
I
a
have
Because
comic?
of the coronavirus pandemic?
Yeah.
I don't have
because
monetization. I don't have to worry about getting demonetized. You can say coronavirus.
So because of the coronavirus...
We're not monetized, so I can just start cursing up a storm on your channel?
Yes.
Hey. Leave the fucking swearing to me. Thank you very much.
God,
hey, I'm a fucking New
watch
Yorker.
your bitch-ass language.
Hey, I'm a fucking New Yorker. I get to swear. Anyway.
Yeah, as I was saying, I can't have any comics in my town because nowhere will actually sell comics unless their graphic novels have been compiled together. So I physically have to wait for Forbidden Planet to come in. But
I really wish they would do that with the IDW My Little Pony comics, because maybe then I would actually collect them if they were.
They have.
Volume?
If they had
They
trades.
have a couple volumes that have a bunch of comic arcs put together.
Well, I haven't seen any good trades from them, so.
I've because I get mine digitally. So using the iBook store, I could buy the individual comics for about like $3 to $7, or I can get a volume of comics for like $10 or so. I forget what the prices are. I'm just naming prices out of thin air, but
You're just randomly saying things.
but if there's a digital version of these anthology versions of the comics,
Mm-hmm.
there must be physical versions.
Well, yeah,
There
I
are physical. They have been compiled together, and there
but is
are
there
some
one for the
available.
magic for that one arc that I liked?
Which arc was that one?
Mysteries of Magic? No.
No, Legends of Magic.
Yes.
Yeah, there should have been just
Actually, I think the digital version of that I bought was a anthology version of it. So, it exists somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know-
always use Google.
Oh yeah, and I thought I remind this. Remember? I thought I'd bring this up. Did you know? After, how Trixie, how Twilight, how Trixie just technically says, "Oh, I forgive you, Trixie." Well, sort of, and all that. Did you know? Before we had Second Francis, the follow up to that was in a comic.
Oh yes, Manhattan Mysteries.
Man, that's still my favorite one. But however, that's
I still
not.
count that as canon because Twilight wasn't in that comic, so it still means that no Second Francis could technically happen.
Yeah, but however, I always hate.
Twilight was a bitch in that episode.
Well, she had a reason. Seriously.
Not really.
Well, really, do you really think that you could forgive?
Hey, my friend who, the person that I've taken under my wing and is my very close friend who has enslaved a town previously and used powerful magic to remove people's abilities to the point where they're completely useless. Don't go near that pony. She showboats.
No, it's more the fact that she did.
Also, I'm probably not the only one who does this, but I totally ship Trixie and Starlight.
I still like. I don't know. I like poly ships anyway, so I can just ship all three.
That seems to be most of the consensus, but who knows? But however, Trixie did the same thing.
Yeah,
Trixie,
but
well,
not
first she
as
was a
bad.
showboat, but then she used the Alicorn amulet, which I still would really like an official origin story for.
Maybe that could happen with the season 10 comics.
I'm really surprised there hasn't been a comic about the Alicorn amulet by now.
So, you see, back when Starlight was still evil, and there was the mention of Mage Meadowbrook's enchanted items. First of all, when they first introduced Mage Meadowbrook, they say she's a unicorn, but turns out she's an earth pony because reasons. But I still want to... I did this whole video with Blue Rave about what currently existing magical artifacts could be these 8 enchanted items. And my thinking a lot along the lines being more that they could be super powerful, but they had some kind of drawback. And I think one of the options was the Alicorn amulet. Because it was super powerful, the drawback is you become evil.
Well, technically, Trixie had malice and before he. It just increases her negative thoughts.
Yeah. So I mean, it's possible if they ever do make an explanation. I'm hoping that it is one of Mage Meadowbrook's 8 enchanted items. But they'll probably never bring that up again, especially because they retconned Mage Meadowbrook into a Earth Pony. So.
Well, she was interesting, honestly. At least she had a backstory at that point, though. What I found weird was the fact that she was just so southern.
There actually was another comic that was more or less a backdoor plot for the Legends of Magic series that actually involved
pilot?
Further exploring Mage Meadowbrook's backstory.
you mean pilot?
Yeah,
Backdoor. Well, yeah, because it wasn't a pilot. It was part of the main series, I think, or maybe a Friends Forever series.
You mean backdoor pilot. You don't mean
Yes,
backdoor plot.
Well, the backdoor plot is the plot
That has
existing
never
in a
been a
backdoor
term.
pilot. But anyways,
That has never been a term that anybody has ever used. Ever.
outside of porn sites. Anyways.
Anyway.
Actually, it was pretty nice for a fact that, like, you know, the Legend of Equestria series, at least, you know, technically, you know, at least those are canon, and at least those are technically canon.
They're fairly canon. What I found really funny was there was a pony whose cutie mark was... Well, there was an Earth pony whose cutie mark was the alchemical symbol for Earth, which I thought was cute. And then there was another pony whose cutie mark was the like Norse rune Ingwaz, which means sexuality and like horny people coming from across the sea. So I thought that was funny.
Really? How did you came to that conclusion?
The history of Ingwa, of the rune Ingwa, it means like sexuality and like family stuff because of the history of it. Because it actually comes from the name of a guy who was known for being basically an outsider who comes into the kingdom, saves everything, and then like fucks a lot, I guess.
You know, My Little Pony for kids.
That's what's funny. There's also one that's the Othalia, which is the rune that neo-Nazis try to use to be a thing, but that's just dickish, so I don't like mentioning that because I don't like neo-Nazis reappropriating runes.
Didn't they already? I mean, I'm Jewish.
Yes.
So I'm not arguing that Nazis were a good thing.
No,
but wasn't the swastika supposed to be like a symbol for peace?
The swastika was originally a ancient, and it was actually an ancient Aryan symbol, which then spread across the world. What the funny thing I like to think about with the whole Aryan thing, you know, Aryans were Indian, right? Aryans
Don't tell the
Indian.
ghost of Hitler.
There's no way that anybody living in that area was blonde and blue-eyed. Maybe lighter skinned than the locals.
What's he gonna do?
The only good thing Hitler ever did was kill himself.
You know, everybody really hates Hitler. You know, we should really make a statue to the guy that killed him.
Anyways, we should probably start wrapping things up. We have about 2 minutes for the to the end of an hour panel, and we started late, so we could end early if we wanted to. So any last minute thoughts on the comics in general, season 10, yada yada yada?
Me, I'm hoping season 10 will actually, you know, seeing the first issue with Applejack with Sakura, Tempest, and Rockhoops. I'm hoping that every main 6 member is gonna focus on a bunch of characters that we saw in that final battle. That will be actually nice.
I'm excited to see Zebraca.
I would really like to explore more about the Student 6 and their connections to each of the pillars and the main 6, because it's very clear that they have specific connections to what element they are related to.
Weren't you excited for a possible map showing where Zebraca was?
No, I want to know where the fuck Zebraca is so I can tell all the Fallout Equestria people to fuck off.
I'm just hoping that the My Little Pony Transformers crossover won't suck.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Is that going to be canon, or is this more just like a fun thing?
You know what I would love to happen in the My Little Pony comic?
What?
I want them to start planeswalking across the multiverse and start battling other planeswalkers from Magic the Gathering.
Another interesting thing they could do is explore the alternate universes that were created because of Starlight.
Yeah, they can do a lot with alternate universes.
The Nightmare Moonverse, the Chrysalis verse, the Sombra-verse, the Discord verse.
The Sombra-verse was hilarious.
Flim and Flam verse.
That you know,
The
it's funny.
completely desolate wasteland that's totally not Fallout Equestria verse.
Also, you know what would be also funny if the IDW comics actually did an entire scene of Rainbow Dash versus Starscream and that death battle. That'd be
Oh God, yes.
I hope it
Rainbow
like.
Dash kicking
I
the
hope it.
shit out of him.
I hope it completely like recontextualizes that. That would be funny. What I want to see is anyway. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll try to talk about that in a month when those comics come out digitally.
Yeah, maybe I'll find a way to cover the new comics without impeding my slow trek through the older comics.
I still think that you should just skip over the ones that you don't care about.
Maybe I'll start covering them by arc instead of by individual.
Oh
comic.
yes, that would be a
yes.
good idea.
yeah. That's to be honest. That's what I technically do.
I like how your like editor was like, oh yes, please, let's do that, please, God.
Speaking of which, when's the next episode?
I gotta go over your edit, make sure there's nothing wrong with it, and then post it. Really, I've just been busy. It has been probably over a year, maybe about 9 months since I last posted a actual review. I really need to.
Let's see what the comics are the comments are saying about this. The cutie remarked, canonized Fallout Equestria. You cannot change my mind. Yeah, sure. That's the universe where Princess Twilight never happens.
That's fair.
Yeah, and since that never happened, I'm guessing all bagged are like, I want this lad. No, I want this lad.
See, Fallout Equestria isn't just one alternate universe. It's several.
It's at least, yeah.
Because you have the universe where only the original fic is canon. Then you have the universe where Project Horizon, Pink Eyes, and such are counted as canon.
I guess you would say you could include most of those ones, except maybe Better Days, which is hard because it's a sequel, and the original wasn't considered canon.
It's and
I
then
still
there's
find that
also
funny.
a completely different alternate universe that I really want to read the story for, but I haven't found the time for. It's a series of fics in the Fallout Quest universe. Just before we close out, I guess we'll jump to Fallout for a brief second.
Well, you guys can join us in our next podcast about the Fallout Equestria.
It's in 2 days. It's on a different channel, but let me just say that the Resistance universe of Fallout Equestria is pretty interesting. It's basically where Little Pip dies, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned this
at an earlier point in the timeline, and so the Enclave takes over.
What I would really love to see is
but we'll talk about that.
I mean, not a comic.
On Sunday during the Rad Meter podcast.
I would really love to see a Fallout Equestria fic that focuses on the concept of what if Little Pip decided, hey, let's become a goddess. Sounds like fun.
There's also some interesting fan comics. The voice of the storyteller from my other channel is doing a comic dub of a Fallout Equestria fan comic.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty interesting. But anyways,
you know what's a comic that I used
to
think was canon but turns out to be a fan fiction? It's that one where it's what's her face? Fuck, never mind. Goodbye, every pony.
Yes, everyone say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And good night. Bang.
Okay, just gotta go over to...
And cut. Well, that's just
okay,
a theory.
Transition to black.